I would like to fondly remember those victims of the pandemic who unfortunately are no longer with us. 97 people have died in the region of Murcia. 97 people have left us because of the coronavirus. Our sincere condolences for your loved ones and your families from me and my government. In the face of this tragedy, we also have 344 rays of light and hope, the people who have overcome the disease and who leave the nightmare behind. I send them my joy and a warm embrace. And before going into matters, I would also like to congratulate the Christians who live in the region of Murcia, in which is their greatest day. Happy Resurrection Sunday to all. As you know, since the beginning of the state of alarm in Spain, the presidents of the autonomous communities in the cities of Ceuta and Melilla have held weekly video conference meetings with the Prime Minister. For the fifth time today, we've been able to convey the same message as on previous occasions: loyalty, joint efforts and the need for material. The twice extended state of alarm already gives the government of Spain almost absolute power, and they must know how to exercise it. They must lead the solution to this unprecedented crisis. Unfortunately, and so I have told them today, the situation is not what it should be. It's not what we would all want it to be. The necessary material is not enough, and to this day, what the autonomous communities have purchased far exceeds what we've received from the single command, from the competent health authority, the Ministry of Health. We cannot win this war without material, so transparency is necessary in this matter. I've asked President Sanchez to give us an estimate of the amount of material we're going to receive and in what time frame to best manage it and to make our own estimates and purchases. I've asked for certainty. The Ministry's long-awaited rapid tests do not discriminate between those infected who have already overcome the disease and those who continue to suffer it. They've generated a great deal of unease among citizens by announcing that they would carry out mass tests. One thing is clear, and that's what I've conveyed today. The numbers should not distract us. This is not over. The World Health Organization tells us that we must exercise extreme caution, that only through containment we will stop the virus. All experts are clear that the stricter the confinement, the less the pandemic will last. It's what our technicians have also defended and what we have been doing in the region of Murcia for more than a month. The government is now going to lift some confinement measures without knowing the results they've yielded. We've not been able to see the scientific reports recommending this. Personally, I think it's reckless. I want to ask all the citizens of Murcia to remain careful, obviously with optimism, because we are making great progress and the situation, as you know, is contained. We're all contributing to save lives by staying at home, but we must not slow down now. Let's listen, as I say, to the real experts, to the health workers. I do it before taking any step. In all my previous appearances, I've offered the government of Spain, and I've told President Sanchez that we have technicians in the Murcian Health Service, and they are at their disposal. These are technicians with a wide experience in health management. In fact, this April marks the 30th anniversary of the creation of the Murcian Health Service. Today, April the 12th, is Primary Care Day. The regional government has opted for primary care by creating an action program for its promotion and improvement in the region of Murcia. We said that primary care would be the first line to combat new health needs. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown that primary care is the true containment dam for this disease. In the region of Murcia, it has been and is our strength, and it is the mirror in which other regions can reflect. This pandemic will continue with different levels of severity, so it's necessary to incorporate more staff in primary care and public health. This will reinforce the expected increase of new openings for health professionals in primary care and public health in the region of Murcia that was included in the PAI map. These health professionals will be incorporated from next month and on a progressive and permanent basis into the jobs that currently have the greatest pressure in order to strengthen the care of 1.5 million people in Murcia. There will be professionals that will be incorporated mainly from the existing pool in the Murcian Health Service. We have an obligation to look after everyone's health, and this is something we're also going to do with those who work in other areas of the public administration. The restart of activity in those sectors considered to be non-essential will have no impact on the regional administration. From March the 14th, the regional government issued an order with a number of special measures to ensure both the safety of public employees or civil servants and the care of citizens. This order already stated that in all those cases where their duties allowed, workers would carry out their tasks from their homes. Therefore, this Monday will not produce the physical return of more civil servants to their job places, to the workplaces, so the figure will remain the same as in these weeks, 650 workers. This is about 7% of the more than 9,000 administration and service workers of the autonomous community. Those workers who, by the nature of their work, have to do so in person, had the protective measures right from the start. Also, to boost these measures, and even though there's not a clear guideline on the mandatory use of masks, we've decided to distribute protective equipment to the employees who have to go to their workplaces. It consists of masks and hand sanitizer. We believe that this should also be implemented to the rest of workers of the region of Murcia, together with any necessary health actions. I've told President Sanchez again that any economic action must stem from social dialogue, a real and sincere dialogue. I fully share the need to address all emergencies and social needs, but ignoring those who create jobs, those who must guarantee them at the end of these hard times, is definitely not the solution. I've also proposed several economic measures today to the President of the Government by making available to the autonomous communities the help of state officials who can support us in the management of the ERTEs. A national plan for reviving the economy and to fight the social emergency must be urgently drafted. This strategy is already being developed for the economic and social revival of the region of Murcia, and the committee responsible for developing this strategy will begin its meetings in search for agreements with all the social and political and economic stakeholders of the Murcian region this week. This national plan should equip autonomous communities with the tools to support families who are going to be financially affected by redundancies, unemployment, and also support self-employed people who are running out of activity and traders who see all their assets at risk. I've also requested the exemption from all those fees and taxes for the months in which there has been no economic activity. We want a zero fee also for freelancers during these months. If the activity is not possible, then tax collection is not understandable. Just as the state is calling for Europe to mutualize the debt of member states, we also ask the government of Spain to do the same with autonomous communities. Not a single euro should be taken away from the state's money that's been already announced or committed to the autonomous communities. I cannot accept that money is being taken from active employment policies in the region of Murcia, or that it's being analyzed so that other funds can be brought to the autonomous communities. The current situation will require important public measures which call for greater debt from our community, so I have called for the lifting of the condition of having to ask the state for authorization in order to access financing through financial institutions or European institutions such as the European Investment Bank. The state must also enable an extraordinary non-refundable fund for autonomous communities in sufficient amounts so as to cover the costs arising from COVID-19 in regional economies. In particular, to cover exceptional health expenditure and to cover the costs of emergency management. But together with all these measures, today I wanted to offer the President of the Government of Spain once again the loyalty of the autonomous community of the region of Murcia, the support for the new extension of the alarm state and its likely extension. Support must be reciprocal. Today, President Sánchez was talking to us about the Mayor Agreement on Economic and Social Reconstruction. The title sounds good, but the important thing is the content. To collaborate is not to impose, and before communicating things, work needs to be done to propose a future pact. There must be a relationship of trust and transparency first, and we need to know exactly what our role is. This is by no means a no. It is a call to action for loyalty, which must go two ways, and it has limits. I would like this time, once again, as I've done in the video conference, to publicly show the loyalty, coordination and collaboration of the government of the region of Murcia with the government of Spain in all those measures that we implemented for the management of the crisis. Citizens want solutions from us. They want us to talk about hospitals, care homes, health equipment. They want to get back to normal, to hug their loved ones and to say goodbye to them with dignity. The priority is to fight the pandemic, no other. The protagonists must be the healthcare workers, the essential workers, the Spaniards, and not us, the politicians. And I mean it from the heart. This crisis is giving us the opportunity to show that politics are useful and life-saving. Let's not waste this opportunity. We've been confined for 30 days now. Today we are one day closer to getting back to normal, and we will achieve this together, each in their home, trusting more than ever the exceptional professionals that we have. This week we celebrated World Health Day, and we had the opportunity to convey to our healthcare workers the gratitude of a whole region, proud of its professionals who give it and risk everything for the well-being of others. I'm also grateful, because they always deserve it, to all those who are taking care of us. Chemists, supermarket workers, grocery stores, market workers, news agents, carriers, drivers, cleaners, law enforcement officers, armed forces, civil protection officers, and let us not forget, of course, the members of our local police forces, our closest officers, who are deployed these days to help us contain the danger. The farmers, for whom I've asked once again President Sánchez for protection. The employees of food processing companies and petrol stations, those who make masks, gloves, gowns, those who ensure that we continue to have water, electricity and energy supplies, to all those who make it possible so that we can continue to stay at home saving lives, all without distinction. Thank you from all the citizens of Murcia for your sacrifices, which means that there are recovered people who leave the disease behind every day in our hospitals. They are our greatest reason for hope and the best example of how we will be able to defeat the virus and progressively recover normality. They show commitment, responsibility and support. Now it's time to work together towards the same goal, because what unites us is much stronger and deeper than what separates us. The desire to share soon with our family and friends all the good that life offers us. And the region of Murcia, as the best land in the world, has very much to offer. Sometimes we see that the day is closer, and that's why I ask you not to let our guard down, to persevere and to set an example as a society who respects the rules governing confinement. The result, and you'll agree with me, is worth it. Thank you very much for your attention.